I hate being married. I long for the day to be single again.
Hey guys, welcome back again to the channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking. So in today's video, women are complaining why they hate being married and why they will never get married, right? So let's go ahead, check out these videos, then we'll come back and we'll talk more about it.
I hate being married. I long for the day to be single again. The only thing that's causing me to stay and stick it out is because I've been a housewife for 10 years. And to get back out there in the workforce with a mental illness, some fears that I have. But I literally do hate being married.
So I don't know this person's situation at all. I don't know anything about their relationship. But I can tell you that research shows that about 69% of conflict in relationships is unresolvable. And that oftentimes leads to a lot of frustration. And the problem isn't necessarily the unresolved conflict. The problem is that people don't know how to fight fair or find compromise through that unresolved conflict, which leads to more friction and ultimately more frustration, to a point where people may want out even if a situation can be resolved. If you're in a situation like this and you need some resources, comment the word growth and I'll send them to your DM.
Being pregnant after 5 miscarriages and having this miracle baby, and then walking out of the hospital with a $20,000 bill because my husband at the time refused to acknowledge me on his insurance. So those were, just the
You
consistent.
said refuse to acknowledge you on the insurance. Explain that to me. What we talking about?
So for punishment of not naming his son a junior, he refused to confirm me during discharge as his wife on his insurance.
So I was speaking with a girlfriend the other day about divorce, and she was asking me when was one of the first signs that I knew something was wrong with my marriage. And I have this memory so heavily imprinted on my brain. I can still feel it to this day, and it sounds so weird. It was the middle of the night. We were both asleep, and in the middle of the night, my ex, while he was asleep, grabbed me from behind for a spoon hug in bed. It was like one of those really good big bear hugs in bed, and that sent me like electricity through my body. I have never in that marriage experienced such joy than when he hugged me in that moment. And he was asleep and he wasn't doing it intentionally. And that joy and elation carried me through the week. I was walking on cloud 9 because of that hug. And I kept thinking about it, and I started thinking, like, in hindsight, obviously, why am I so excited about a simple hug when he was unconscious? That's how little I had the affection that I needed. And it kind of clicked. I was like, that tiny little absolute nothing moment ended up being the best thing in my marriage that week. And that incident is what made me start kind of taking inventory of my relationship and taking a really hard look at it and realizing all the holes that were in my marriage. Okay, calm down. I did not divorce him because of a hug. It was years after that that we ended up getting divorced. But it was just one of those things that kind of started getting my brain thinking. We all kind of have those dominant moments, don't we? Where something happens that makes us start thinking about all of these other things that we need to be thinking about. Like you've woken up and you can now actually see your relationship for what it is. Anyways, it's such a random moment, but I've never forgotten that feeling. And it's different for everyone. Everyone has one of those first aha moments, and it's usually something really small. So if you're watching this, this is your reminder to go and hug and kiss your partner and tell them how much you love them. Okay, love you, bye.
Just a thought. Do you think that marriage favors women or men? Like, who do you think marriage favors more, the woman or the man? Because sometimes you just wonder some of the stories you hear about marriages, about the things that husbands do to their women, and you just keep wondering what in God's name is happening here. Like, why would somebody who claimed to love you at the end of the day turn their back on you, or hurt you, sort of? Okay, it is very, very unfortunate that we as women, we experience some of these things and we end up being in same marriage. Okay, and how can I be in a marriage with somebody where I need so much affection and I don't get it? The man doesn't give it to me. He doesn't even see the fact that I need those affection. It can really be humbling for some women, but sometimes they end up being in that relationship without even moving, right? And you get to wonder what is keeping you. Like the other woman who said that she hates being married, but she can't move because she hasn't worked for years, and going back on the street is so hard. The street is hard, true, but is that the reason why you want to just shove your happiness, under the rocks and just stay back in a marriage where you're not happy, like happy? Like they said, there's always a double story to any story, right? There's always a second story to any story. Nobody knows why she hates being married, some of the things that triggers her, or what anybody must have done. Like there's just a story, or maybe she have to sit down and tell us the full reason why she doesn't like being married for us to understand where she's coming from and why she has to leave or why she should leave in the first place. Because if you're not happy in a place, I don't see you staying back there. Your happiness is paramount. It's very important. I don't know why people just prefer to stay in an unhappy relationship for years. Like you're giving us your happiness for years for just no reason. Anyway, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, okay? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. And for the woman whose husband left at the hospital and she has to be on debt, okay, so much story. Like, it's very heartbreaking that someone who claimed to love you end up hurting you at the end. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section, guys. Let's have that conversation. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to see you on my next video. Bye, guys. Please do well to subscribe as well.